Before I start this story, I just want you to know that it's for educational purpose, and I mean no disrespect to anyone that I talk about in this case, and I upload once or twice a week. Judge Richard Gurley said after 37 years of serving different capacities in the court system, including 16 years as a judge, this is one of the most horrific cases he's ever experienced. The peaceful city of Grand Junction, Colorado, known for its natural beauty and fine wine, was gripped by an unthinkable horror, as a teenager's disturbing ideas were transformed into a chilling reality, leaving the community in shock and disbelief. Brian Cohee, a teenager, hid a chilling secret deep within himself, a disturbing fascination with murder in the most brutal way imaginable. When the realization struck that his easiest victim would be a homeless person, there was no turning back for Brian. Months of careful planning had culminated into one of the most disturbing and ruthless cases when he chose to murder Warren Barnes, a 69-year-old homeless man who was loved by the community. However, as Brian's dark plan unfolded, reality came crashing down when his own mother stumbled upon the victim's decapitated head and dismembered limbs in their once ordinary family home. This horrifying discovery swiftly triggered Brian Cohee's arrest and subsequent interrogation.
Brian? Hi. My name's Pete. I'll be right back with you. I just didn't know if you needed a drink or...
I'd like some water, please.
Water? Okay. Oh, thank you. All right. Well, this is Lisa.
Hi. How are you?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So, we never met, have we?
No.
Okay. It's Brian. Walk me through, how do you spell your last name?
You want my full name or my last name?
Your full name, good.
Thomas Cohee, C-O-H-E-E, Junior or the second, whichever one.
And what's your birthday, Brian?
January 10th, 2002.
And how did you get here?
I murdered someone.
Okay. You willing to look at the form with me?
I know the basics, mirror rights.
Yeah, that's what it is, but I gotta go over a form with you just to make sure we both understand them, okay?
Yeah.
So, can we go back over, I didn't quite understand the dates or what ended up to the body. You said you tried, but it didn't work out.
What do you want to know?
Just start back at the beginning and go slow and tell me as many details as you can remember.
So, because I mean, Murray going to jail for the 15 years probably.
I have no idea.
Because
we're at the beginning.
It's murder. I mean, I'm going to jail for 20 probably, but so I figure, why fight it?
Okay. So what's important to me is to learn as much about you and what you did and as I can. Well, as many details as you can give me, the better.
The detectives tasked with unraveling the truth must now understand what truly happened. On the night of February 27, 2021, Warren Barnes, a homeless man living outside of downtown businesses in Grand Junction, Colorado, was sleeping under a bridge. Despite being homeless, Barnes was a popular figure among the downtown community for his amiable disposition and his love of reading. But what would happen next shocked and terrified the community.
I drive a 2007 Ford 500, and I keep a small 18-inch bat in there for self-defense, and a large kitchen knife in the glove box, both for self-defense, because I don't really trust anyone, or really any part of this town, so that's why I have both. Yeah, it was the night of February 27th. It was a full moon, and I figured I can see so well, why not drive out? And I am in a bad state of mind at that time. I have major depressive disorder, so I am not thinking, shall I say, positively.
Okay.
I'm cruising around for an hour and a half. Yeah, there was a road underneath, right?
Uh-huh.
Out under the overpass. And I was driving along, and I see a shape here on the railway track. So I'm like, oh, interesting. So I go up, and as I'm looking, I see a large thing wrapped in a canvas.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's a homeless person. So I grab my knife, I put on 3 layers of gloves because plastic gloves can betray their users because they're so thin, those vinyl gloves, by imprinting your fingerprints through. So I put on 3 on one hand. I took the knife, I pulled back the canvas, and I stabbed his neck. This is him. I was straddled on top of him like this.
Okay.
And he couldn't fight back. It was actually surprisingly easy. I was barely breaking a sweat. I thought, oh, this guy, he's going to be tough. But no, it was actually surprisingly easy.
Brian Cohee, 19 years old at the time, had been plotting to murder someone for the past 6 months. His preference was a homeless person or a prostitute, believing there would be few people that would miss his victim. That day, Brian Cohee had been passing through the area when he spotted the 69-year-old Warren Barnes sleeping. Brian Cohee would approach Barnes with a kitchen knife, a mask, and 3 layers of gloves on, and proceeded to horrifically murder him. Cohee had seen Barnes laying under a canvas upon arriving. He walked up to Barnes with knife in hand, pulled back the canvas, and stabbed him in the neck. Barnes did not die after the first stab, however, and would awake and scream out in pain. Cohee then got on top of Barnes and continuously stabbed him, ultimately killing him. During this time, Barnes's head would also be partially decapitated. Cohee would further mutilate the body, slicing open Barnes' stomach to see his guts, as he admitted to police in an interrogation, and also cut off Barnes' hands and placed them in a plastic bag. Cohee also stabbed Barnes' eyes, but his horrendous acts did not stop there. Cohee would then cut apart Barnes' right arm at the joints and partially dismembered the left arm. He would also cut a Joker-like smile in Barnes's face before finally decapitating the head and placing it in a leftover pizza box, leaving the rest of Barnes's body at the scene.
I paused and he said, "Why are you doing this?" And I said, "I've been wanting to do this for a long fucking time. Murder someone."
What are you worried about? I mean, this looks like it's pretty close to the road and stuff. Somebody seeing you or catching you?
It was 11 p.m., so not many were driving by. Well, it was behind the pillar. So people would only see a brief thing here and here. Yeah, but no one stopped. And I'm just like, proves the bystander effect. And then I cut off his hands. I put those in plastic Ziploc bags. And then I cut off his right arm at this joint and at this joint. And then at this arm, I tried cutting it here, and then I tried cutting it here. But what happened was I accidentally broke his bone. And then I took the head, put it in a leftover pizza box from the dinner a few nights ago. And then I took the hands, put them in the back, drove home, hid the hands and head in my room, cleaned the knife, threw away the garbage with the blood on it, and then I tried going to sleep. But I was worried that because there was a hole in my gloves right here, I was worried that they would be able to obtain a partial print. So I figured, why not go all the way?
Cohee arrived home and washed his clothes. He stored the dismembered head and hands of Barnes in trash bags in his closet. Cohee would then lay in his bed and try to sleep, but would become worried that he may be discovered by a potential hole in his gloves. So Cohee put on a different outfit and drove back to Barnes's body, where he would place it in his trunk. Then, he drove to the Blue Heron River. Cohee dumped Barnes' body into the water, but when trying to leave, Cohee's car would slide into the river and become stuck.
I drove back in a different outfit, picked up his body, put it in my trunk, and drove to the Blue Heron drop-off station. The ramp is quite steep, and you need to have four-wheel drive to pull out of it. And my car didn't. I put it in reverse, A, so that it's easier to pull the body out, and B, because the back tires would provide propulsion to push up. And I open the trunk, I take his body out, I put it in the water, so I just try moving it with my shoes. That works successfully. He goes out some part in the river and floats off. Then, when I tried to inevitably try it out, my car didn't come out.
From Blue Heron.
Yeah, from Blue Heron.
Yeah.
My car was stuck. And so then I tried putting it in low gear. I'm trying everything at this point.
Right.
And it still doesn't come out. And then it slides into the river.
Oh!
My car slides into the river, me inside. It's the middle of February.
It's cold.
At night.
Yeah.
In the river that's almost freezing.
Yes.
I'm drenched.
Ooh.
I almost died. So I'm able to climb out, and I'm sitting there. I need to act fast or else I'll die of hypothermia. I'm panicking a bit at this point. I'm going to be like, this is what I'm going to be remembered for, dying of hypothermia and a botched attempt at hiding a body. And I'm just like, fuck. So I'm running. So I go up the road, and I'm trying to flag down a car. One doesn't come by for 5 minutes. Eventually it does. And it was an old high school friend.
The police department would be called out to the car to discover Cohee, but he was released from the scene without suspicion. Cohee would return home, hoping that his crimes would go unnoticed.
Hi. Did he say hi to me?
Yeah, I was saying hi.
How do we call a tow for that? Just that it's...
I don't know, because he'd have to get in the friggin' water.
Yeah.
Never seen a car in the water, but...
Not gonna lie, this is my first time too.
Really?
It's a new one for me.
What's that?
So I've never seen one of these either, so it's a new one for me.
I'm like, oh man.
What immediately caught the police's attention is blood from the body was on the reverse bumper. See, I forgot to wipe it off.
Oh.
And I was so panicked that I wasn't thinking. And so when they pull it out, they immediately see blood on the bumper. They notice more blood on the door handle, the other door handle, passenger one.
Did the cops from the police department, did they talk to you about that this morning?
No, I was not contacted.
Oh.
All they were planning to do with me today is get my insurance information.
Sure.
A few days after the incident with the car and the subsequent discovery of the blood that Brian could not explain, body parts of Warren Barnes were found under the bridge near Crosby Avenue, marking a crucial turning point in the investigation, with Brian becoming the main suspect.
It's right here. Oh, you see it? Yeah. Because there's an arm.
Oh shit!
Hey.
There's an arm. Search ever.
There's an arm, there's another arm.
Okay, hold on. Do some pictures. Start right now.
There's another one.
Right, here's a leg.
Well, there's three. There, and there.
On March 1st, the next day, the police once again find themselves in the Blue Heron boat ramp. A homeless man by the name of Warren Barnes has been reported missing, and the officer spoke to the woman who called in the report.
We're trying to find out where there's like little apartments that would be super cheap, because he works for a company that does just like temp agency, and they were the ones that actually contacted me because he's never missed work, and they know that he sits behind my shop. So
When was the last time you saw him?
Saturday, 5 o'clock. I said, I'll see you tomorrow, Warren, and he was like, okay, meaning he planned on coming down on Sunday, and then he did not show up.
So every morning it's around 6?
Yeah.
Without fail?
Without fail.
7 days a week?
Yes. He is there every morning.
All by himself?
Yeah. And he's the nicest guy ever. Rough looking, but he is the nicest guy.
I was planning to buy an empty paint bucket, put the head in it, seal it, and then I was going to throw it off in some ditch.
I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I have it right. The head is inside of a trash bag.
It was.
Well, where is it now?
In the kitchen sink. My parents searched through my room and they found the head and hands.
Monique Lanati had forged a special friendship with Warren over the years. Monique was worried because the workplace of Warren called to know if she had seen him because he didn't show up for work, which is unusual because he always shows up for work since he started 4 years ago. Officers soon realized that Monique wasn't the only person worried about the disappearances of Warren in the community. Cohee's parents would make the terrifying discovery. Terry Cohee, Brian's mother, would go into his bedroom, suspicious of his car sinking into the river the day prior. Upon entering his closet, Terry would discover a human head in a trash bag. Terrified, Terry would call 911, sending officers to the residence. Police would arrive, and with permission, entered the house and discovered the head in the sink, where Terry had put it. Brian would be taken to a police interrogation room to be investigated, and it is here that Brian begins to happily talk to the detectives about his crimes. During the interview with the police, Brian would admit to the murder, telling them of how he had been planning it for a long time.
You know, Brian, I have to ask, a lot of people that we have talked with,
They're silent.
well, or they're just not as well spoken, if you are, to be honest with you. You're very articulate. You're very articulate.
I think I'm bad with words.
So before this guy, how close have you come in the past?
Not at all.
Not at all? You just drive around? And
Yeah, well, just try and find
you see anybody interesting and
No.
in your mind thought of a plan? Or?
Well, occasionally when you see girls walking down the street, I take a glance at them, because it really is like a temper where half of me says, well, I'm quite inept with women. I'm being honest, I'm no Casanova. But half of me says, I want to take that girl home and make her feel nice. And the other half of me, it's just like what Ed said, is I want to see what her head looks like on a stick.
Additionally, Cohee stated that he was in a negative mental state and claimed to have various mental disorders. Brian appeared to show little to no remorse for the crimes he committed, and gladly told police of the details of his murder. Cohee would even use markers to map out the place of the crime, and potential locations for the other parts of Barnes' body. It is unsettling to comprehend that individuals with such disturbing thoughts exist within society. The prevention of Warren Barnes's murder is a complex matter, and we can never be certain of what could have stopped it from happening. Ultimately, it appears to be the result of an egotistical and deeply evil mind. Brian's curiosity about the sensation of taking someone's life was so intense that he was willing to commit this heinous act knowing it could lead to a lifetime behind bars. All for an experience lasting mere seconds. Such acts challenge our understanding of human nature and the lengths to which some individuals are driven by dark and disturbing impulses.
And when did you start thinking about killing people?
6 months ago.
So, how old are you?
I turned 19 last month.
So when thinking
January,
back,
2 months ago.
okay, thinking back, it sounds like you killed a cat.
Well, actually, I was thinking of killing people during the cat, but I wasn't acting on it. But I started seriously thinking about killing people a year ago.
How about when you were 12? Did you think about killing
No.
people? So what in your life has changed, or what in your mind has changed to make you know?
Years before the murder, Brian's urge to kill people gradually intensified, and he would frequently drive around late at night with what he referred to as a kill kit. A box filled with tools and weapons for both murder and torture. His initial plan was to kidnap and torture a prostitute. However, one night when he was caught with the kill kit, he was given an ultimatum by his parents. He had to either dispose of everything or face the risk of having the police called on him, possibly leading to charges of conspiracy.
If I go back that night, probably wouldn't have done it. Knowing that, knowing what it felt like, knowing how this will all turn out, I wouldn't have done it.
Well, what did you think it was going to feel like? What did you said you were curious. What did you think it was going to feel like?
I thought it would be the best feeling in the world.
Okay. What do we need to know about you that we haven't asked?
I was planning to go into the military.
Okay.
Planning to go into forensics or nursing, and eventually go into law enforcement.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
How come go to forensics and then to law enforcement?
Forensics helps with the law enforcement degree.
Cohee would be arrested for his crimes. The trial of Brian Cohee began in January of 2023, where Cohee would plead not guilty by insanity. The prosecution argued that during the interrogations, Cohee had confessed to the murders, and state psychologists determined that Cohee was not insane when the crime was committed. But defense attorneys said that Cohee's mental health disorders, such as major depressive disorder and autism, were triggered upon seeing Barnes and that he was insane during the murder. The trial would last 12 days. After a 2-day jury deliberation, they found Brian Cohee guilty of first-degree murder, tampering with a deceased human body, and tampering with evidence. Cohee would be incarcerated at the Buena Vista Correctional Complex, sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Warren Barnes, affectionately known as the reading man of Grand Junction, was widely recognized for his deep passion for books and his selfless nature. Despite being homeless, he left a lasting impression as an exceptionally kind and hardworking individual, supporting himself and politely declining food offered by others. In his honor, a memorial was placed on the very bench where he used to read, forever preserving his memory in the heart of the community. I hope you all have a great day today, and this is all I have for this case. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please subscribe and leave a thumbs up down below, and thanks for watching once again.